Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo here and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another interesting short movie. The name of this short movie is What If Naruto Was Loved and Became the Most Respectable Person in the Whole Elemental Nations? And yeah guys, it is an unscripted story. Now before continuing, this shout out is due. Shout out to Arquiz Brown Simple Jack 6465 for suggesting this idea. I hope I pronounced that right. Anyways, moving onwards, this is a civilian Naruto what if. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this one. I love making these types of stories. So yeah, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And I have taken in consideration of a lot of your ideas. There are a lot of awesome ideas, and you know what? I appreciate that you guys have the same sentiments as me. Like, maybe we should also try something new on this channel. I have a story ready to go, but it's about DC Universe. I mean, basically, OC character, basically Bruce Wayne's brother and so on. I'm not gonna spoil anything further beyond that, but yeah, you can pretty much see where this is going. So yeah, do let me know if you guys want that story, and maybe tomorrow I will upload that instead of Naruto to see how that goes. And hopefully you guys might enjoy that as well. Anyways, yeah, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's short movie. Our story begins in Konoha Gakure no Sato with a couple known as Minato no Mikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, as we see them inside a hospital room currently looking at their children that has been born yesterday night, with a smile on their face and a look of relaxment on their facial features as well. Why? Because of two reasons. Kushina was the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko, and last night when she went into a labor, there was a high chance that the Biju might break free from the seal that has been placed on her to hold the Biju at bay. And the second thing was that it did got free, but not because the seal was weakened, but because of a person's interference. The man claiming to be Madara Uchiha. And not only that, Konoha has suffered last night the most terrific attack of its whole existence. The Biju, known as Kyuubi no Yoko, descended upon them and caused havoc and destruction everywhere. If it wasn't for the brave shinobis and konomichis under the guidance of Hiruzen Sarutobi, they would have been wiped out completely while Minato was busy dealing with the person. Seeing that his village needed his help, Minato intervened and was able to seal the Biju away by splitting it into two parts and sealing it within his oldest children, Menma and Mito. And right now we see they were here, grateful and relaxed that they went throughout that night. Because even if it was supposed to be the most happiest night of their day, it turned out to be the worst nightmare of their existence, and as well as the existence of Konoha. As now we see, Minato then said, "You know what, Kushina? What is it, Minato?" said Kushina, looking tired extremely because of, well, going into labor and also surviving the night after having the Biju ripped apart of her after giving birth. "I'm just grateful that we're here and our family is safe. Yeah, let's just hope that everything returns back to us normal so that we can finally go home and rest." "Yeah, I want that too, but the council is asking me to attend a meeting. I have postponed it for the time being." As Kushina sighed, "Really? Can't they even wait?" As Minato tried to reason with her by saying, "Kushina, you do know that the Biju did attack the village last night and many people have died. And not only that, many of the shinobis are injured. Many of the clansmen of different clans have been lost as well. They all are afraid, worried, and want some answers. Obviously, as their Hokage, I am the one who is responsible to give them the answers that they need. It is my job to do this." As that is when the door slid open and in came an old man known as Hiruzen Sarutobi, the one who led the charge when Minato was away. "And I, as the previous Hokage, am ordering you to return back home and rest, Minato. You have went through a lot, and so has Kushina. Your kids and your wife need you. As for the council, leave that to me, but Hokage-sama, I have to do this. You are this Hokage still, Minato. I'm just an old man who was trying his best to look out for his successor. If you still wish to go, then I won't stop you, but know this, that your family will need your help." As that is when a shadow appeared from behind both of them, but it was an ally, as Minato turned with a smile and said, "I'm grateful that you're okay, Kakashi." As Kakashi didn't say anything, just nodded. "Sensei, if it is important to you to go to this meeting, then allow me to be the one who stand guards for Kushina-sama and the kids." I know I could trust on you, Kakashi. See, Kushina? Said Minato, turning towards his wife with a smile on his face. Kakashi will take care of you guys and keep you safe. In the meantime, I have to deal with this. As now we see Hiruzen then asks, but why are you waiting here? I mean, if everything is fine. Oh, as Kushina then said, chiming in. Well, the doctor did some tests and wanted to conduct tests on the kids, seeing that if the seal is settling in and is not hindering with their chakra, and if their vitals are normal or not. We're waiting for the reports to come here, since because of the situation that arose, it is hard to get the reports instantly. As now we see, as they were talking, the doctor came in, as he had 3 reports in his hand. As he opened them one by one, I got the reports from my staff. They were quite amazed at, as well as surprised by the reports. I haven't seen them myself, but I will reveal them to you in front of you. Menma Uzumaki no Mekaze, Jinchuriki of the QB as well, is completely normal with having normal vitals as well as the seal working appropriately, as it should. It won't hinder him anymore. And as same could be said for Mito, said the doctor with a smile. And when it came turn for the youngest, Naruto, that Kushina was currently cradling in her arms, we see that the doctor's smile fell. Oh, what is it? Said Minato and Kushina, both worried, and Hiruzen and Kakashi were also on edge. It can't be. Can you give me another chance to do the report? What does the report say, doctor? I don't believe this. It says that the kid has chakra, but only enough to the means that he could barely survive. He cannot be a shinobi. He can be, if anything, a civilian. What? As everyone was shocked when they heard this news, as that is when Minato then said, he can't even train like Guy? Like Might Guy? No. Any physical activity like such of shinobi work or training might be quite harmful for his body. He's weak, I'm afraid. As that is when Minato was shocked, as Hiruzen then said, I'm sorry, Minato, that this happened. As Minato then said, why are you sorry, Hiruzen-sama? I'm happy that my son is healthy, at least. To hell with him being a shinobi. If he doesn't want to be one and can be one, then so be it. But what about your enemy, Sensei? If they try to even so lay a hand on him, I'll rip their whole arm apart. They will think 3 times before even thinking of doing something like that, said Minato with a menacing aura. As Kushina also said the same thing. I agree with Minato, Hiruzen-sama, Kakashi. We won't allow our child to be harmed. Not Naruto, not Menma, not Mito. Nobody will be. I have lost a family before, and I'll be damned if I lose them again. I never had one, and now that I finally have one, I'll be damned if anything happens to them, were the thoughts of both Minato and Kushina. As now we see, Hiruzen and Kakashi were quite happy, and so was the doctor, but as he suggested, he conducted a test again, while Minato went on to the meeting, while Kakashi and Kushina with the kids returned home. As now we see Hiruzen and Minato standing on the outer gates of the council chamber, where yelling could be heard from within. They're like animals. I can't believe them. I used to deal with that lot. Yeah, I guess you're right, Hiruzen-sama. But someone has to. Yeah, I guess you're right, Minato. Someone has to. As now we see that the door was opened, and everyone became quiet, as both of them walked in as Minato sat down on the Hokage office chair. As he then said, this meeting is in session. As that is when Danzo stood up and said, before anything could be said, I would like to ask a few questions. How did the Biju got here in the first place? We all thought everything was fine with Kushina. It seemingly wasn't fine enough. A masked person claiming to be Madara Uchiha attacked us. So the Uchiha pattern that everyone saw in the Biju's eyes was correct, and wasn't a genjutsu. As Fugaku then got up and yelled, it wasn't my clan. I and my clan are innocent. Fugaku, calm down. I'm not saying that it is your clan. It might be a stolen Sharingan for what we know. And besides, that person was wearing a mask. And Uchihas are the not only ones who have black hair and pale skin. There are many other peoples out there. It could be a rogue Uchiha, or it could be one whose eyes has gotten stolen by someone impersonating an Uchiha. And besides, do you believe that Madara Uchiha, which he called himself, would be alive at such a day after hundreds of years of the battle with Hashirama-sama himself? As Danzo was quiet when these words were said, as Fugaku finally settled down after calming down his nerves, because he didn't want it to be blamed for the QB attack, and neither would his clan want that. As that is when Danzo then said, "Alright, but how is the investigation about this will be handled? We will see that after the village is repaired. I have sent it in a letter through Hiruzen-sama to Daimyo-sama and have requested funds. We will get a response soon, and so hopefully the funds will return. And once it returns, everything and every bit of funds will be distributed equally. And I won't have that negotiable anymore amongst you, because everyone is important here, whether it be civilian council, civilian members, or the shinobi council and shinobi members." As that is when Danzo then said, while everyone was agreeing as satisfied with Minato's answers, I have one last question. What happened to the Biju? Where is it? Is it sealed away? And if it is, who is the Jinchuriki? And what will you do with it?" As everyone's eyes were now on Minato, because that was quite a crucial answer that he was about to give. "The Biju is sealed away. I did so myself. And I sealed him by splitting him into 2 parts, into my own children." As everyone's eyes widen, his friends, as well as civilian. As that is when Mabuki Haruno, the head of the civilian council members, then stood up. But Minato, did Kushina agree to this? How could you do this to your own children? With all due respect, Hokage-sama, she said, sounding a little bit pissed. To be honest, Mibuki, there was no other choice. Sealing the Biju within Kushina would have killed her, and I would rather do something else with that. I couldn't seal the Biju within myself, because Kushina has told me that Mito-sama said that once as an adult she sealed the Biju within her, it was so hard for her to control and hold on to the seal. The seal needs to mature with the Jinchuriki, and that is why a younger Jinchuriki is required and needed. And to be honest and fair, would any one of you have offered any child of yours for this job? Everyone remained quiet. I couldn't have asked for that as well, and I couldn't have placed this burden on anyone if I couldn't place this on my own children. I know that they will be able to grow strong and powerful, and will be able to use Kyuubi's chakra to their own advantage in the future, if guided properly. As now we see, everyone was satisfied with this answer, because now, instead of seeing them as a source of hatred, they saw the kids as a source of admiration and pride, and something akin to a hero, as Danzo was gritting his teeth inwardly because what Minato was giving him was nothing he could use against him and his ideologies, the ideologies of his sensei and Hiruzen. Damn it, I have to think of something. But Minato, if there are 2 Jinchurikis, I request that request denied, said Hiruzen. But I didn't even say anything, and you're not the Hokage anymore, Hiruzen, said Danzo, looking a little bit angry and frustrated. Even if I am not, I know what you are going to say. When Kushina became the Jinchuriki, you requested the same thing all those years back, and I denied you. Kushina was able to not only maintain the Biju at bay, but also use its chakra at her advantage and will, and not only that, became a strong Konomichi in her own right. And that is why I have denied your request, because I know what you're going to ask. What is he going to ask? Said one of the civilians. He was going to request that one of the children handed over to him. What? Said Minato as he stood up, slamming his hands on the table. You dare say that? It is only for the good of... As before he could finish that word, Minato neck choked him and slammed him against the wall. As everyone stood up and tried to stop Minato, as they were grabbing him and trying to pull him away or push him away, the strength of Minato was so much increased at that moment that nobody could separate him from Danzo, and Danzo for the first time felt fear, because in front of him was not Minato, the gullible Hokage of Konoha, but someone akin to a shinobi that was feared by Eva and the others. If you ever so much dare to even think about breaking a hair of any of my children's head, I will literally cut you up into bite-sized pieces and throw you to river to feed you to turtles. We got that clear, Danzo? I'm gonna erase you from this world, you motherfucker, if you even dare go after my children. As Minato never cursed even if he was angry, and his friends were shocked because they knew that Minato was beyond angry if he was cursing, because he wasn't a person to do that. As after that Hiruzen then said, Minato, enough, let him go. This instance, this motherfucker needs to learn his lesson. How can he say that to me? My kids were just born yesterday, and if he thinks that I'm going to hand them over like some candy, he has another thing coming towards him. He has put himself on a way too much high pedestal. I'm gonna make sure that I crumble down everything beneath him to make sure he falls face first to the ground in dirt, if he ever so think about such a thing again. As after that, Minato threw him to the other side, slamming him into the wall. As after that, Minato then said, I need to calm my nerves, and for the time being this meeting is adjourned. And as discussed, everything will be done when the daimyo sends in help. As after that, Minato said that they could leave and left with the Hiruzen. As Hiruzen then said, you should have known better to not agitate a father who has been through hell just to save his kids and his village. He has already sacrificed enough for us. What more are you going to ask, Danzo? As Danzo remained quiet, you should be considering yourself lucky that he let you off with easy warning. As there were visible handprint marks on Danzo's neck where Minato was holding, any more pressure and he could have been killed. As Hiruzen began to walk away, now we see that the friends of Minato, the clan heads, were quite shocked, at the same time quite amazed by his strength, and were at ease that they weren't on their receiving end. As now we see, back at Uzumaki estate, we see Minato return and calmed his nerves down, as he entered inside the room where his wife and kids were with a smile on his face. What's bothering you, Minato? As immediately he was caught with his fake kid, because no matter how much he tried, he couldn't hide away from Kushina. It's nothing, Kushina. I dealt with it. What is going on, Minato? What is bothering you? It's Danzo. As after Minato told her everything, he had to stop his wife from going and killing Danzo because he held himself, somehow stopping himself from killing him. But knowing Kushina, she would literally kill him. So he had to stop her. I promise you, Kushina, I dealt with this. You don't have to go. That son of a bitch. He thinks he can do whatever he pleases just because he's an elder? I'm gonna make sure that that asshole's body isn't even found. Not even in the river. As now we see, Kakashi and Minato both held there as Jiraiya arrived there with a puff of smoke. Fear not, as Jiraiya the gallant Sanin is here, my students. As that is when the three of them relaxed, as Minato then said, Sensei? What are you doing here? Hello, my student. Am I happy to see you? Of course I am, said Jiraiya as he grabbed him and began to rub his fist on his head in a jokingly manner. As Minato then said, I'm happy to see you too, Sensei, but why are you here? Can a Sensei visit his student? Cut the bullshit, Jiraiya. Why are you here? Nice to meet you too, Kushina. Dandy as always. Well, as for why I'm here, it's because of the prophecy. It's about to begin. What prophecy? You forgot, kid? The prophecy, the child of prophecy that was going to save the whole world by bringing everyone to peace and so on and so forth, with something that has been never seen before in the shinobi world? Yes, I remember something like that. You told me once in a lifetime when I was young. Of course, it's a once in a lifetime thing. You see, I thought you were the child of prophecy, but turns out it was your kids that actually were going to be the child of prophecy, or at least one of them. We have 3 kids, Sensei. Who do you think would be one? I don't know, honestly. Tell me, who does possess the Kyuubi's chakra? I know from what I have heard, that you used your kids to seal them, right? Oh, Menma and Mito. The oldest ones. As that is when Jiraiya said, what about the third one? He doesn't have anything. He's a civilian. Oh, I see. Well, I can never be so sure about this. I'm not sure who might be the child of prophecy. This is quite confusing, to be honest. You know what? I'll leave this to you, kid. I'm busy doing my own research. Wait, what? You can't just leave after dropping that on me. Weren't you going to select who was the child of prophecy? Select? Me? Said Jiraiya with a shocked expression and a surprised one as well, shocking the 3 of them who were there. By 3 I mean Kakashi as well. Psh, yeah, you wish, kid. I'm not gonna play with this stuff. This is some prophesized stuff from gods, and if we mess with it, there will be huge consequences. So I have told you the prophecy, one of your kids going to be one, so keep an eye out on the kid. I'm gonna go do some research, said Jiraiya with a perverted laugh, as he was punched in the face so hard that he went flying throughout the whole house by Kushina. Was nice meeting you as well, Kushina, was the only thing she heard, as she had a tick mark on her head. That baka arrow fool. I can't believe this, that even still he would think of that after dropping such a serious news on us. I mean, give it to Sensei. Always making things more dramatic for his own flair, said Minato, as Kakashi was just standing there with a huge sweat drop behind his head. Because to him, things happening in front of him were quite bizarre. As now we see, the three of them turned towards the kids, who were currently laying in a cradle. What do you think? Who would be the one child of prophecy? I don't know, honestly, Kushina, said Minato, worried as well. You know what, Sensei? Kushina-san, everything will be fine. I mean, you're going to be great parents. And obviously that child of prophecy will reveal itself in due time. I mean, knowing Jiraiya-sama, he didn't want it to be, well, involved in making a wrong decision, and, you know, as he said, messing with this stuff could be quite dangerous, so that is why he left it on you. And that is why I hate that bastard. That perverted old fool, said Kushina, gritting her teeth. She just got out of 2 life-threatening situations, and now they're put on a huge situation where the whole world's fate rests on their shoulder. Such a heavy responsibility for them to deal with. As Minato then said, rubbing his temples, I can't believe this. Even after all these years, Sensei still sometimes catch me off guard and surprise me. What am I gonna do? What are we gonna do? Said Kushina, as Kakashi was again having a sweat drop moment. Raise the damn kid. What else are you gonna do? Yeah, that we are gonna do, Kakashi. Look, I'm not a genius or expert on this, but as I said, the child of prophecy will reveal itself. Just treat them fairly, I guess. Like normal parents would. That was the plan, I guess. That's the obvious plan, I guess, said Minato to Kushina, who said these words to Kakashi. See? As thanks to Kakashi, we see that time began to fly by, and Minato and Kushina began to notice that the kids had their own personalities. Menma was always the serious one, and while Mito was the jolly and the prankster one, like Kushina, while sometimes the surprise factor was present within her. But Naruto, he was just a kind-hearted kid who would help Kushina out from time to time, from doing chores around the house like cleaning and even helping her cook, from even sorting out Minato's, well, library and home office, and also helping him out. As from the 3 kids, we see that Naruto was the one who was helping and sorting out both Minato and Kushina's life the most and making it easy. And so did his siblings. As now we see, they have reached at the age of 5, as 5 years have flown by. As now we see inside Minato's Hokage office, Naruto was with him sorting out the documents as well as giving him the stuff that it was required by him as a secretive word. As the elders alongside Hiruzen then entered the room, as Minato then said, what can I do for you, elders? Hiruzen-sama. It's nice to see you, Minato. We are here because we want to discuss something regarding the civilian sector. And as Hiruzen stopped and looked towards young Naruto and had a smile on his face. I see young Naruto is here again to help out his father. Yes, Hiruzen-sama. Greetings, Koharu-sama, Homura-sama, Danzo-sama. As everyone nodded, as now we see, Hiruzen then said, what are you doing there, Naruto? Oh, I'm sorting out the missions by their ranks. I'm separating the C rank missions and, D rank missions, and even A and S ranks. As Danzo then said, how do you know that you are doing them correctly? Well, I have read and father has told me that the missions that require helping the civilians and within the village vicinity are D rank missions, and the missions that require to go on some chores away from the village, like conveying a message or transporting goods or even protecting a traveler, requires C rank missions. And as we move advanced, we go to A and then S rank that requires Anbu's attention, and then the more and beyond goes to Anbu's as well as Jonin teams. As to be honest, even Danzo was impressed by the knowledge of the kid. You certainly have a lot of knowledge about this. Yes, I do, thank you, said Naruto with a smile on his face, as Hiruzen then said, you certainly do, Naruto, as he patted the boy's head as Naruto chuckled. As Minato, too, was quite proud that even Danzo was, well, proud of his son. because Danzo was hard to impress. Hardly ever he would be impressed by anything, and yet to be impressed by a 5-year-old kid, that was something in its own right. As now we see Minato and Naruto, after sorting things out and doing their work, immediately return back home. As Minato, after his meeting with the elders, was quite busy with the documents right now. As Naruto visited him to give him a cup of coffee because it was late night that night. "Touchan, here's your cup of coffee." "How long are you gonna stay awake?" said Naruto. Son, I don't know. Maybe whole night? Who knows? This kind of thing is hard, sorting every budget and everything out. How about you drink your coffee and relax for a bit? You know what? I might just do that for a bit. Thank you, son. As now we see Minato begin to drink his coffee while Naruto massaged his shoulders because they were stiff. As soon we see Minato relaxed and fell asleep on his chair. As Naruto then sighed. See, he was tired and working over himself. As Naruto then looked towards the documents, and for some reason he thought, why shouldn't he look at it? And once he looked, he saw that they were the funds delivered to the village by the daimyo, and every sector required some funds, and it was Minato's job to distribute them equally and importantly to important sectors. So Naruto, seeing this, began to do the calculations within his head, and surprisingly, the next morning we see that, as we cut to it, Minato woke up to see that his report was filled. Huh? Oh no. I fell asleep, but wait. My report is done. Who did this? As right next to him he saw that Naruto was curled up in a blanket and sleeping on the sofa that was there. As he got up and woke up Naruto. "Naruto? Did you do this?" said Minato after reading the report, which was quite accurate and much more efficient than even he would have done, because Naruto was not only able to send funds required to each and every sector, but also save enough funds for the future use. That has never been able to be done before. As now we see, Naruto then got up and said, "Oh, hey Touchan, is it morning already? Oh no, I'm sorry I didn't wake you up," said Naruto. "It's fine, son. Did you do this?" said Minato, asking his son with shocked and hopeful expression. As Naruto nodded, "Yes, I did." Did I do something wrong?" said Naruto, looking down. You have taught me a lot, and helping you out, I have learned quite a lot of stuff. But Naruto, how did you do this? It's simple. I cut it off the things that were less important for the time being and much more important, and in this way, I was able to distribute the funds sent by the daimyo equally in all sectors, and save enough funds for the future. As Minato was impressed by this. "You know what, son? I'm gonna show this to the council and see how they fare." As now we see, while having breakfast that was being prepared by Naruto and Kushina, both the siblings then said, "I can't wait to begin the academy, Touchan," said Mito. "Yeah, me too. Sitting here reading books, I'm getting bored and bored." "Sitting here and reading books is all you do, Nissan," said Mito, looking towards the oldest brother Menma, as Menma, adjusting his glasses, looked at Mito with narrowed eyes. Both redheads were about to butt heads again as Naruto stopped them, the only blonde between the triplets. "Enough about this, Nissan. Why are you always at each other's throats?" As Mito hugged Naruto close and said, "My baby brother is the best. He knows that what his Nissan wants." No, he knows what his Nissan wants, which is peace and quiet. And not only that, he is also quite proficient in shogi and has been helping me out develop new tactics and techniques that has been helping me to win with the Nara clan. Oh, have they been helpful? As the kids were talking and bantering with themselves, we see that both Minato and Kushina were watching them with a smile on their face. "You know, Minato, a few years back, this would have been something that I could have only been imagined and dreamed of. Seeing this all turn into a reality, I'm happy that how our kids are turning out to be." As Minato was also proud of that, and then he showed Kushina what Naruto has done, and she too was impressed, and hoped for the best in the council meeting. As now we cut to the scene where we see Minato inside the council chamber, as one by one everyone began to read the, schedule that was prepared by Naruto for the whole village, and everyone was impressed. "Are you sure that the kid really did this all by himself and it is not a stroke of luck? Or just a fluke?" said Danzo. because he was always the skeptic. I'm pretty sure that he did this. I mean, I fell asleep and I was alone in room with Naruto. I see. How about we wait until next month of funds arrive and see how he fares then? As everyone agreed to what Hiruzen has said, and so 1 month passed by like this. And during that month, Naruto, aside from helping out his parents, was also doing something more. Being dragged by his siblings into meeting their friends, mainly by Mito. Do I really have to go? You cook the best cookies, Naruto. So my friends don't believe me, so that is why I have to bring you there. Where exactly are we going? To the Uchiha compound to meet with Satsuki-chan. Satsuki? I mean, who is that? You don't know. I rarely go out, you know. Why? Said Mito, looking quite shocked at Naruto as Naruto looked down and said, I like staying at home, helping out mom and dad, and also reading books. Jeez, I can't believe you're acting like Menma-ni-san. Hey, Menma-ni-san is not that bad, Ne-san. As Naruto was then dragged to the Uchiha compound, inside the main Uchiha clan head house, where we see now Naruto was currently sitting in the middle of a bunch of girls that were there and was way too much embarrassed as Hinata Yuga, as well as Inoya Manaka, Satsuki Uchiha, and none other than his own sister, Mito Uzumaki no Mikaze, were there. As Naruto was feeling odd one out, as Ino then said, "So you're the chef that baked those tasty chocolate chip cookies. I don't believe that for a second. How about you do that in front of us?" Said Satsuki, "I rarely like sweet stuff. If anything, I enjoy tomatoes. So, enjoying cookies that you made, supposedly. I am even shocked myself and would like to know how you make them. I asked my Kachan to prepare some stuff and material for us." As Naruto saw that everything was down to the just basic stuff that required even to make dough and even to make his own design. So, Naruto then said, "Alright, I guess." As Naruto began to do the work, as the girls watched, that Naruto did bake cookies. As soon as Naruto was baking them, the smell of the fragrance of the cookies began to fill in the whole compound and even the main house. And the fragrance was so much mouth-watering and delicious that even Mikoto Uchiha and Fugaku himself, alongside with Sasuke and Itachi, were drawn to it as they arrived in the room. This is the source of the smell. What is that smell that is coming here? I mean, everywhere, said Sasuke, as that is when Naruto presented them with a fresh tray and batch of cookies. There will be more if you like. I mean, I made this for them. Can you wait for a bit? I'll make some for you as well. As after making another batch, we see that everyone tried them for the first time at the exact moment, and immediately the girls were impressed because this was much better than the previous batch that Naruto made. As even Mikoto and Fugaku were impressed, and knowing the main family of the Uchiha clan, they rarely liked sweet stuff. This is certainly quite delicious and tasty at the same time. It's sweet, but not too much, like I distend, said Fugaku, and Mikoto was squealing with delight and also with joy that she was able to enjoy some sweets finally, like her friends. This is certainly delicious. How about this, young man? Would you like to give me the recipe to this so that I can make this whenever I would like and my family would like? Of course, ma'am. And so Naruto was taken to the kitchen and was now practically bonding with the Uchiha main family. And that was something shocking in its own right, as now we see Mito and her friends, while enjoying cookies, were on the other side, while seeing Naruto while he helped out Mikoto bake the cookies. As after the cookies were made, they enjoyed them again, and later on we see that Fugaku, Sasuke, Itachi, and Naruto were sitting alone while the girls were in another place playing and eating their cookies, and Mikoto was busy doing the chores. As Fugaku then asked, "How about a game of shogi, young man? Do you know how to play?" Yes. Then how about it? One game with each of us. I mean, young Sasuke is trying his best. Maybe, who knows, you can be friends in the future. As now we see, they begin to play the game of shogi, and after what seemingly looked like the whole day was over, as Mito returned to grab her brother, they saw that Fugaku as well as the other Uchihas were on the other side, in deep thoughts while they were trying to plan their next move because they have been stuck in that position for almost an hour by now. If I use this piece... No. As Itachi was also quite confused. Being a generational genius in his own right, he was quite shocked that he was being cornered by a kid. But it didn't hurt his ego one bit. He was impressed, to be honest, that such a talent existed. That is quite a tactic that you used, Naruto. That has certainly put us in a blunder. If we even use one piece, there is a option for you to end this game in an instant. Would you like me to help you out? No. Our pride as an Uchiha is at the line here. I know this sounds immature, but let us figure this out on our own, young man. Naruto, said Mito, bunging in as everyone looked at her away from the game. What is it, Nissan? We have to leave. It's evening now. Oh, sorry about this. I have to leave. Really? Can't you stay one bit more? I mean, one game just, said Sasuke, because he too, for once, was enjoying time with his family and with Naruto. As Naruto then said, I have to go. I mean, we already overstayed, I guess. No, nonsense. You're always welcome here whenever you want, Naruto. How about we end here for the time being? Your parents must be getting worried, so you should better head home. Itachi, make sure that they get home. As now we see Itachi walk both Mito and Naruto back home, and once he returned back to the Uchiha compound, we see that Fugaku and the rest of the family were talking about the kid. Not only he cooks something that we thought to ourselves that we couldn't enjoy, he is also quite intelligent. It's just a shame that he doesn't have the chakra to become a shinobi. No, it's not a shame, Itachi, said Fugaku to Itachi, who said these words. What do you mean by that? I thought as the Uchihas, only power mattered to us, and we respected power. That we do, but what that kid had is intellect. Intellect of a point where he was able to even push us to a corner and give us options that would only lead to our own downfall. And that is something that I respect. Power of mind is the most strongest power from even physical powers that we as the Uchiha respect. I quite like spending time with him, said Sasuke, as Fugaku then said, you should make friends with him, Sasuke, if possible. I'll try my best, Ochan. I won't disappoint. You don't need to disappoint or get my approval, son. You can make friends with whoever you seem fit. As after that, Mikoto was proud of her husband, as Sasuke was happy as well. And she kind of thanked Naruto because for once, thanks to Naruto, they were able to spend time like a happy family, even if it is for a day alone. As after that, we see Naruto, thanks to Mito and Sasuke, Menma, were meeting new friends and was making new bonds. Instead of attaching to Menma's friends like Kiba, Shikamaru, he became quite good friends with Hana, Kiba's sister, who was, a veteran in training, 3 years older than them. And not only that, he was making a lot of bonds in their own right. And his cooking, mainly his cookies, were to die for. Even the Inuzuka hounds as well as the Inuzuka clan themselves enjoyed that delight in their own right. As now we see the month finally passed like this, and finally the next month's report came in which the budgets will be split. As Naruto was called to the council chamber and was quite looking nervous, as Hiruzen said, you don't need to worry about anything, my boy. Just do what you see fit. We are not going to judge you. We realize that you are young. Even if you make a mistake, it is completely fine. As Naruto then looked at it, after taking a deep breath and looking at his father, who nodded with pride in his eyes. As Naruto then with a smile on his face began to analyze everything with great focus. And after what seemingly looked like an hour, Naruto then said, I'm done. As everyone was quite shocked because it usually took weeks and even a day for the report to be made. Even by Minato standard, it took him a day or 24 hours to make a report. Are you sure, son? Do you need to check again? I checked twice already. As Naruto then gave the report to Minato, as Minato was more impressed by this because as previous, the report was same and much more efficient this time around. As one by one everyone read this and were quite impressed and were now gradually increasing their respect for the kid, who at the age of 5 alone was now handling or was going to handle the budgets of Konoha itself, a great feat in its own right. As Danzo then said, I don't say this usually, kid, but you certainly have earned my respect. Because what you have done, if it was left to any of us, even to Minato, would have not been accomplished. These funds would be put to good use in the future for the betterment of Konoha. And as for the needs and requirements, they have fulfilled and met with already. I think we should let the kid handle the budget of Konoha from now on. As now we see, Minato then said, "What do you say, Naruto?" Really? Yes, I mean if you want to. No burden, son. I think it would be a great opportunity for you, Naruto, to learn and meet new people. As Naruto then looked at his father, who smiled at him, and with that he accepted. As now we have a time skip of many years later to see that the kids that were 5 have reached at the age of 13. And throughout the years we see that many things have changed. Menma and Mito are going to graduate and become Genins alongside many of Naruto's friends. But much more than that, Naruto is the one who has changed the most. He has become much more confident instead of an introvert, and much more intelligent as well. And one thing about Konoha has changed in general, perspective on Naruto. Instead of the youngest of the Hokage, he has gone to the youngest lord in Konoha. Why? Because he has become an important figure. A figure that was loved and adored, as well as respected by the whole village. What he has done for the village is, over the course of years, was too much to ignore, and now he was respected like an elder and a Hokage would in the village of its own right, even by the shinobis and anbus by their own right, and was a prominent member of the council, an active voice who was suggesting what was betterment of Konoha. Once Danzo's questions would arise, he would argue with them and even give them the proper answers, with also proves that this will help work out. And now Konoha was getting better and better, and over the course of years the development in Konoha has gone up as well, to the point it was looking from Konoha into Naruto canon verse, from that all the way to the Boruto verse Konoha that we see in the beginning of the Boruto episodes. Konoha has prospered even more and was almost modernized, way much more advanced, as well as much more wealthier than before. As the daimyo began to take notice of this as well, and requested the reports, thinking that they were embezzling it, and even his own secretary as well as budget manager and handlers were quite impressed, and so Naruto was called, alongside with Minato and the elders. And once Naruto arrived there, the daimyo questioned him, and Naruto was given the task to then design a budget for the whole Land of Fire. And once the budget was given, everyone was astonished. Not only it was much more efficient, but the fundings it was saved for the future beneficial things they could do for the whole land. It was impressive. So the daimyo gave him the job of secretary, but Naruto and the village didn't want him to let go. So for 3 years, the finance minister told him that he let Naruto to allow to be worked with them so that he could form bonds and alliances with other lands as well as their daimyos, and even with Land of Fire. As Naruto, for the 3 years of training tip, as well as for 3 years, went to the Land of Fire, working under the Land of Fire daimyo with his finance ministers and other ministers, given the position as such, while Konoha was still sent the budget reports made by Naruto each month alongside the budget themselves. His family was proud of him, but at the same time quite sad that their youngest have gone out, and in the meantime Menma and Mito begin their focus on their shinobi training, as Jiraiya returned and took them on a training trip of their own for a year or so. And after a year they returned for the Chunin exams. Konoha was able to survive the Konoha crush without even losing or a single building or a brick or even a life, because of Naruto's layout of security that he designed, and it was implemented by the Fuinjutsu masters as well as the shinobis. Naruto was even able to change the rotations and so on in such a way that the shinobis were efficient and less tired, as well as more productive, and the work was being done 10 times faster as well by them. As now we see, time began to fly by as Orochimaru was caught and the Konoha crush was crushed in its own steps by their own plans. That Naruto finally returned after 3 years, as Konoha was happy for once, and even a festive like whole stuff was arranged in the village, because it was a festive in its own right. The golden boy of the whole village as well as the youngest lord was returning finally. But what happened was, Naruto did return, but not as the kid that left 3 years prior, but as a huge businessman in its own right. Uzumaki Limited, corporation was a Zaibatsu that made a business in its own right in the business market of the whole elemental nation by filling in the gap that was left by the shinobi and the civilian sector, and even made those tools that were required by the shinobis and the civilians themselves. Not the fighting ones, but the day-to-day life and the material ones. So much advanced and easier and cheaper that they became as the strongest Zaibatsu, and Naruto was now at the age of 15 recognized amongst the strongest as well as the wealthiest people by reputation and influence in the whole elemental nations. And Naruto has made a lot of allies as well. Even the shocking one was that Naruto, being a Namikaze, was able to make alliance with not only with the Land of Stone but also with Eva itself. Oniki and him had played chess, and that was something in its own thought terrifying to imagine by Minato, but Naruto has done this. There was even an image in the article published by them. And surprisingly enough, Oniki offered an alliance in the form of a political alliance where Akatsuki, who has grown to found liking Naruto to the point where she loved him to death, had to be married to him. And so she was the first one to be married to Naruto. But that wasn't all. Once Naruto returned, they saw that how Naruto has grown, but were quite sad that he was taken already. But then they found out that it was only an engagement that was done and exaggerated in the form of marriage. So Hana as well as Ino as well as Satsuki tried their best to get their clan's influence to get with Naruto, and that they did. They landed a marriage with him. And thanks to Naruto, not only the other lands and their daimyos, but also other villages, even the villages like the Snow and the other minor villages, were now allied to him and recognized him as a powerful person and a respected person in its own right, and still adored him alongside Konoha, with the name known as the youngest lord of Konoha. And seeing this all reputation and the alliance that was made was good on one side, but for some people it was frustrating. Such people were none other than the Akatsuki members in Amegakure. Naruto tried to help out the village, but they didn't want to do anything with that. And they also hated him because of him. The other villages were allied, and they, no matter how hard they tried, couldn't separate them. And their plans were failing of separating and going after each and every Jinchuriki, because now they were allied and had a easier way of transport amongst them villages thanks to this kid known as Naruto. He appeared like a golden goose to the whole elemental nation, becoming the strongest and most influential person at the age of 15 alone, and they hated him for that. Some of them in the Akatsuki members were in for their own goals after world domination. Seeing that there was no use, they all left because they were getting tired of constant fighting amongst themselves. Even Pain and Conan left because they saw no use in this plan any longer. They need to go back to the drawing board, and that they went. As for two members, they were still frustrated and angry. Zetsu and Obito, otherwise known as Toby, the masked person who was behind the Kyuubi attack all those years ago. So they, in their frustration and rage, tried their best to attack Konoha by killing Naruto. But due to the allied forces of shinobis that were already protecting and guarding Naruto from all villages, they were caught and executed on the spot. And that is how they came to an end. And as for Naruto, well, he, after many more years, at the age of 20, was now getting married. Married to not only with Sasuke, but also with Ino, and with Hana Inuzuka, who was 3 years older than him, and with Akatsuki, who was a year older than him as well. And all of his 4 wives were strongest kunoichis in their own right, and also the most terrifying ones as well. Because if he ever tried to break any one of their hearts, they will be the only ones who will break his bones. And Naruto vowed that he will never do to any one of his princesses. Now, thanks to the political powers, pulls, as well as alliances to be made, this marriage arrangement was done. But Naruto, through Jiraiya's word, was the most happiest man ever. And that is how his story comes to an end and conclusion. I hope you enjoyed today's story, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And yeah, I will be working on your ideas as I did today, so don't worry. And as for tomorrow, do let me know what you think about what I said in the beginning. Like, would you like me to make a story that is ready to go, uploaded there on the channel or not? Anyways, this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace!